Okay, we set up all of the completing the square in order to be able to do this here. Write the equation of the circle in standard form. Now let me remind you what standard form is. It is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where hk is your center, remember, and r is your radius. Okay, so that's just a reminder of what our goal is. Now, the first thing that you want to do is put your x's together and your y's together. So we're going to do that first. X squared minus 4x plus y squared plus 8y plus 11 equals 0. All I did was move things around. I didn't change the signs of anything because I didn't move anything from the left to the right. I just put the x's together and the y's together and left the constant on the end. Okay? Now, the first thing you're going to do is write down x squared minus 4x. We want to create a perfect square trinomial. So we want to figure out what we're going to add here. So this is just like what we did in the previous videos. So we look at this minus 4 here, x. We're going to take half of 4, which is 2. So I'll write that over here on the side. Half of 4 is 2. And then we're going to square it, which is 4. So we are adding 4 there. Now, once you do that, you're going to want to factor it, just like we did in the previous video up here in these problems. So we write down the x, and then it's a minus with the 4, so we minus. And then what did we square to get that 4? We squared 2. Half of 4 was 2, so we're going to put 2 there, and it's squared. Okay, now, we're going to put our plus sign because that's our goal, is this. All right, now we're going to come back up here. Plus y squared plus 8y plus, I got to figure out what to put here. Okay, that means I'm going to take half of this 8 right here. So half of 8 is 4, and 4 squared is 16. So we add 16. Okay, to factor that, it's going to be y, and then plus, and then what did we, half of 8 was 4, so that's 4 and squared, equals. All right, now this is where I want to make sure you get this. We need to move this 11 over to this side. It's positive here, so to move it over, that's going to make it a negative 11. Now, we changed this side of our equation by adding a 4, so that means I have to add a 4 here. And I also added a 16, which means I have to add a 16 to this side. So whatever two numbers you add here, once you move that constant over, you've got to add those two numbers to this right side as well. So then negative 11 plus 4 plus 16, that is 9. And once you get that, you have your equation for your circle. So it's a little bit of a process to get there, but it's totally doable for you to get there. Okay, let's look at one more example, and then I'll let you try one on your own. Okay, so we're going to rearrange. Remember, our first step is to rearrange and get all our x's and all our y's together. So we've got x squared, and then I'm going to do plus 4x, and then plus y squared, and then your minus 8y plus 16 equals 0. All right, now we're just going to look at the x's. So x squared plus 4x, what am I going to add in order to make this a perfect square trinomial? So we look at this 4. We take half of 4, which is 2, and square it, which is 4. So we're adding 4 there. Now to factor that, we come down here, we write our x. It's a plus with that 4, so plus. And then half of 4, we come back up here and get this number. That's 2, and it's squared. All right. Now we're going to move to our y's. Y squared minus 8y plus what? So this time we're looking at this coefficient variable, the 8. So we're taking half of 8, which is 4, square it, and that is 16. So we're adding 16 here. And we're going to factor that. Y, and then it's a minus sign because that's a minus with the 8. And then up here, what did you, half of 8, you found that to be 4, and then you're going to square it. Okay, now both of these are equal to something. Now notice, up here, we had a 16 on the end. So I need to move that to the other side. If it's positive, when I move it, it's going to be negative. Then you also have to add what you added in over here. We added in a 4, and we added in a 16. Okay, negative 16 plus 16, those are going to cancel out. That's going to be 0. So you're just left with the 4. And this would be your final answer. Okay, pause the video and try to do number 13 and then come back and see how you did. Okay, let's see how you did on this one. First thing you need to do is put your x's together. X squared plus 6x. Then put your y's together. Plus y squared minus 4y minus 3 equals 0. Okay, now we're going to write down x squared plus 6x, and we need to figure out what to add. So we've got a 6x here. We're going to take half of 6, which is 3, and square it, which is 9. So that means we're adding 9 here. To factor that, that's going to be x plus half of 6 was 3, and we square it, plus, all right, now we're going to work on our y's. Y squared minus 4y plus what? Okay, this time we're looking at this negative 4y. So we're going to take half of 4, which is 2, square it, and that is 4. So we're adding 4. Okay, to factor that, it's y, and then you have a minus here, so this is going to be minus. Half of 4 was 2, so this is going to be a 2, and then you square it. And we're equal to something. Now, remember, we had this minus 3 that we've got to move over. So if it's a minus 3, when we move it over, it's going to become a positive. And then we added a 9, and we added a 4. Okay, 3 plus 9 is 12, plus 4 is 16. So this would be your final answer for the equation in standard form. All right, guys, as always, if you have questions, let me know.